Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book from Waterside Press, putting justice into words. And this book is the little book of insider dealing with a subtitle, The Key to Avoiding the Risk. And it's been written by two people, Gregory Durston and Mohsin Zaidi. Now, Elizabeth and I have talked about the book, and for our book review title, we've given it this title: Invaluable Advice on Insider Trading for Those Who Really Need to Know What is Right and Wrong. Let's look at the book first of all. It's a small book. There it is, paperback. There's the spine, and then there's the back. It runs, it's a little book, so it runs to 186 pages, 180 odd pages. The index is by page numbering. It's a very small index. You've got some useful select bibliography at the back. At the front, you've got the front page there. Then you've got the basic information. That's the blurb about the book. Then you've got the actual chapter headings there. And it's an easy book to read. I found it quite helpful to zip through. There are a total of 8 chapters, the last one being a conclusion. And what you have got, of course, in addition as appendices, and some frequently used acronyms, plus the bibliography. And the opinions, of course, are those of the authors. If I just show you the appendices at the back, this actually deals with, starts off with the Criminal Justice Act. And then right at the back you have the, I'll just get to it, this is the glossary itself here. As it's quite a small book, it's quite, there we go, frequently used acronyms, in other words abbreviations, whatever you want to call them. I thought it was a very good book. At the front of the book, as I say, you have the basic chapters running through from there all the way through. Then you've got, after that, some information about the authors themselves, and then you've got the actual book itself, body copy all the way through, some footnoting and some subheads, but there's no paragraph numbering, you can see all the way through. As I say, I was very pleased with this book. It's up to the very high standards we always get from Waterside Press. And this is what we say: when two barristers are let loose in this area of company law, the reader will deduce very quickly that we have an extraordinarily good book on our hands. And so it is with this first-class short read on insider dealing from Waterside Press, written by Gregory Durston and Mohsin Zaidi. Now, I'm calling it insider dealing, it's insider trading, whatever you want to call it. It's where people get information they shouldn't be getting hold of. They can make a profit out of it in its very crudest form. It's a book, I think, for everyone, and we found the approach easy to read because Waterside Press are to be congratulated as ever on the publication of this little book, which I hope we will see the start of a series of short works to bring the basic legal position on substantive law issues to the general readership, because there is an interest out there, and I think Waterside have always tried very hard to meet that interest. The authors rightly say that since the financial crisis some 10 years ago, in 2007 to 8, criminal prosecutions have moved centre stage as the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, considers prosecution as a preferred means of punishing and deterring insider dealing or trading. The words insider dealing or trading can be described as the illegal practice of trading with access to sensitive non-public information. Well, that's putting it in a little more clear way than I possibly did, but in fact that's it. Sadly, there are still many who do not accept the obtaining of such information, which does not, of course, give us a level playing field for trading. I'm not going to mention the countries or the people involved, obviously, but there is this problem still that some people don't see that what they're doing is wrong. And that's a problem in its own way, but we have to educate them. Now, the little book of insider dealing reviews in short order all aspects of what we call insider offences, which were enacted by the Criminal Justice Act of 1993. The writers have included their history, punishment and rationale, as well as the slightly uneasy, that is putting it charitably, relationship between the overlapping civil regulatory regimes which cover such financial misconduct. And sadly, it's another example of the friction between the civil and the criminal systems, which should of course one day be rationalised, although of course we doubt it. I mean, that's probably just a bit of an aim for the future. Now, Durston and Zaidi review the following areas of insider dealing in some detail, depending on what you're actually looking for, and I'll list them. It's detection, compliance, surveillance, suspicion, reporting obligations, enforcement, and the civil and criminal penalties and warnings. Very pleased, of course, to note a strong focus on evidential requirements and useful examples taken from real-life cases. The book starts with an observation, which is a front-page headline of the Times newspaper, London, recently announcing city traders getting away with the abuse of markets, insider deals by white-collar criminals ignored. And of course that, as I say, has been a problem in the past. And the book progresses quickly to a detailed statement for the uninitiated on the crime of insider trading or dealing, specifically looking at the problems of evidence. And I do think that that is one of the valuable parts of this little book myself. Let me conclude by saying this. The authors come full circle with this final comment, which sums up where we are today. Quote, "Ultimately, everything turns on how seriously the crime is viewed, and this is something about which there is and always has been a huge variety of opinion, which is almost where the little book began." And as I've said, that really is, I seem to have gone full circle myself, but that is actually where I think we are at the moment. We can't commend this book highly enough for anyone involved in this industry. So thank you to Waterside Press. You're putting justice into words. And that's exactly what we hoped you'd do, and you've done it. So thank you very much. The book was published on the 21st of February 2018, and I'm recording it somewhat later in the year, in the autumn, after a few delays. But in the meantime, thank you very much to everybody concerned for their involvement in the book. Bye-bye.